What's the craziest thing you've gotten away with? In college we were required to have an internship for 1 year. Apparently the summer before I started the internship I was supposed to get a letter in the mail with a list of places I could intern at. But I never got the letter. By the time the year started it was too late to get an internship anywhere. It was my senior year so I didn't have another year to do my internship. So I just made one up. I said I was working with an online literary magazine. I completely faked the evaluations, made up my own work to do, and gave a presentation at the end of the year about my experience. As far as I know no one suspected anything. My parents, me, and my 2 sisters once escaped through the Iron Curtain in the middle of the night, via a train we were not supposed to be on, from Poland to West Germany. I had no idea what was happening. We all thought we were going on a vacation to Yugoslavia. That's what my parents told everyone. Me, my sisters, their parents, friends, family, co-workers. And next thing you know we're in a West German immigration camp. It was a very crazy family journey. We now live in Canada and love it here. I made a huge f-king hole in the wall of my parents' garage. I screwed a pin board in the wall over the top of the hole and no one seemed to question it. Similar story here. I got the result of my AP exams back and wasn't pleased. In a rage, I punched a hole in the garage wall. Moved a sign from one side of the wall to the other. Right on top of the hole. Dad commented how nice it looked. Me and wife were on honeymoon in Malaysia. It was Chinese New Year's holiday and we were in Genting Highlands. There was a huge convention center which was hosting a huge Chinese lunch buffet and stage show. Chinese people bought expensive tickets to it. Me and wife went to the bouncer and asked if we could just take a look inside. He said okay go on. Don't take too much time. We rolled in. It was extravagant and huge and decorated awesomely with food tables on the side with every imaginable Asian food goodie. It was lunchtime and we were hungry. Once the food started serving, we also went with the flow and I had the best original Chinese food in my life. All sorts of goodies. After having a good time, we went through the exit. All this time we were feeling very nervous. Just as we were about to disappear the bouncer called us and said wait. Dot. My heart came to my throat. He said, here have 2 complimentary Chinese oranges for each of you. It's for all the guests. I was like, thank you good sir. Then we disappeared from sight. Junior year of high school. I never turned in an essay that was worth a large percentage of my English grade. When my teacher called me over while she was entering grades into the computer and asked about it, I used my excellent lying skills to act completely confused. Because of course I turned it in and what was she talking about? Because I had always been an awesome student. She thought it was her fault and that she had lost it. She told me she actually did remember reading it. And typed a 95/100 into the online grading system. It must have been one hell of an imaginary essay. Once I was really drunk and closed a 4-lane road with fences from a nearby building site in the middle of the night. A police car came just when I was about to leave and started chasing me. I was on my bike and pedaled away as fast as I could. I had a head start of no more than 30 meters. I made it around the corner and was out of sight of the police car for no more than 4 seconds. I stopped, hid my bike in some bushes, took off my coat, turned around and just started walking towards the police car. The police car just drove past me, noticing me but not understanding I was the same person. I could hear the police car driving through the neighborhood trying to find me, while I just quietly walked away. I returned 2 hours later to retrieve my bike. Really felt like Jason Bourne doing that and I am still amazed I came up with this plan and executed it so flawlessly. I snuck a bottle of water past German security in Frankfurt last year. Sort of boring. But I gave my entire college class an extra week to work on a 12-page paper that I had forgotten about. The professor had a lot of classes, and he really liked me, so when I reminded him that he had told us the paper wasn't due for another week he bought it. Of course one of the goody two shoes in the class tried to correct me, but everyone around her shut her up. I once stole a pain or chocolate from Sainsbury's. It was in the same bag as a croissant and I told the self-service checkout about the croissant, then had to put the bag in the bagging area. The machine was none the wiser. I sauntered out of there like a moth after unexpected item in bagging area. Running through the jungle to escape Vietnamese guards who were intending to turn us in for trying to climb Mt. Phan Xipang, highest peak in Indochina, without a permit. Either that or hitting a man with a cheeseburger while driving 45 miles per hour. The FCK sort of cheeseburger, can you drive at 45 miles per hour? Back in the 90s when everyone had dial-up internet, phone SX and psychic hotlines ran credit cards in batches long after the call was over. The only thing they verified beforehand was that the card number was valid. Validity was determined by computer software that would check for certain requirements, like the first 4 digits matching the card issuer and some algorithm that was used to generate card numbers that was also used in those days for verifying them. There was a program called CCWIZ for Windows 3. One that would extrapolate a bunch of fake numbers from any real one by using this algorithm. And the fake numbers would work on these hotlines. In fact, I am pretty sure you could have done much more illegal things like shopping with overnight shipping. But that would have been a good way to wind up in jail. Or at least juvenile hall. I was 12 at the time. I used to bring knives to school. Not because I wanted to stab anyone, but I just carried knives around and would forget. I realize now with how serious they are about weapons in schools. I could have gotten in a lot of trouble. My school was more of a hick school. Everyone had a pocket knife. The school did a check once with drug dogs and stuff. At the end of the day, they had 2 full-size garbage cans filled with just pocket knives. While at a wedding, I drunkenly climbed onto the roof of the bar we were at and stole a shingle. I then proceeded to take the shingle back into the bar, place it on the seat next to me, and call it my new drinking buddy. Was she shingle? Edit. Gold? I'm amazed. What do I do now? When I was 16/17, I asked a random guy to buy me GTA in what was probably electronic boutique at the time. This was in the UK. Game was rated 18. And they take it seriously there. Went outside and waited for him to come out. He thankfully did not steal my money and did buy me the game. I ended up working for R North on GTA V. So I like to feel this lapse in legality was for a good eventual cause. I faked my bachelor's degree and yet successfully enrolled in a master's program. Currently in my 2nd term with mostly A grades. Holy shit. Well, if you ever get caught, I know of a pretty good community college you can attend. They have great study groups. In grade 3 I light my school's field on fire with some matches I found. I ran away and it got put out. I was a f***ing stupid kid. In 7th grade, I lit a field near my house on fire. I was trying to contact aliens. I was, and remain, a f***ing weirdo. There was a dirt mound nearby. Tried to carry small handfuls over to the quickly spreading flames. Then booked it once I realized how futile that was. I went inside and ran to take a bath to get the smoke smell off me. Once I was done, I heard my sister remark that there were fire trucks down the road. So I hid in my room and read communion. Nobody ever found out it was me. Edit. Top comment is about middle school retardation. Beep boop. I got hit by a train and walked out of the hospital only 7 hours later. I got away with being struck by a train. When I was 17 or 18 years old I was in Germany with some friends. We were drinking at a bar and after that we went back to our camping site. On the way back to the camping site we wanted to take a traffic sign. So I hopped on someone's shoulders and started unscrewing the traffic sign. Then one of my friends says that he saw a police car passing us by. So we started running away and I ran away from my friends and hid in the bushes. The cops came back and started searching for us in the bushes I was in with flashlights and everything. I could see their shoes since I was looking down. After 5 minutes or so they drove off. That was also the quickest I went from drunk to sober because of all the adrenaline. TL. DR got drunk, wanted to take a traffic sign home, cops drove by, hid in the bushes, never got caught. When I was very young and extremely poor with a baby, my grocery budget was $50 to $80 per week. Milk and meat were the two most expensive items I purchased. No formula. I nursed for as long as she would take the breast. I would always put my gallon of whole milk under the cart. On the flat rack. Didn't pay for milk for probably a year that way. Felt guilt and shame every single week. But I was in a very bad situation and literally didn't eat some days. Milk at least had plenty of calories so I could keep producing breast milk. I always figured if I got caught, I would just pull the O. I forgot and didn't see it down there and pay the $2.99 gracefully. My life is so completely different, escaped abuse, now. But I am dedicated to living my life being overly honest. I will not even slow roll through a stop sign on a deserted road in the middle of the night to make up for the bad karma. And contributing much time and household items to the women's shelters that saved me. I got away with it. I ain't saying shit. Not really the craziest thing I've done, but I got out of a speeding ticket, about 15 over, by telling the cop that I was just excited to see my brother again since he just got back from deployment. Some people will say that was pretty scummy of me to lie about. But for something I came up with while the cop was walking to my car, I thought it was pretty good. It's almost like lying about death. Why weren't you at work yesterday? My grandmother died. The 3rd this year. Yeah. I have a pretty big family. I once acted like I was holding open a door for a long line of people coming out of church. But the door had a kickstand and I just wanted to lean on something. I got so many thank yous. When I was 13 and 14 I went on these adrenaline runs in the early morning, like 3:00 to 5:00. I would go to the woods and make a small fire. Kill a squirrel. Cook it and eat it. It was private property and there was a curfew. Did you kill it with your bare hands or with a pellet gun? Also, what? The summer between 7th and 8th grade, 2001-02 school year, if my drunk ass recalls, I went from house to house asking for donations for my local Boy Scout troop to help fundraise uniforms, badge material. Made about $200 in a week. Bought a metric F ton of candy and some sweet pegs for my BMX bike. Edit. To clarify, I wasn't ever in the Boy Scouts Murica to begin with. Just asked strangers to support a cause. I was a little concerned that a 7th grader was drunk. Several years ago, in the late 90s, I worked part-time for a janitorial company. One night we got a contract to strip and wax the floors at a local Best Buy. The general manager of the store, his name was Bob, oversaw our operations. Probably just making sure we weren't stealing and whatnot. After the job was done, that following day I went back into the store to buy a video game I spotted the night before. With my receipt in hand. From the video game I just bought. I walked over to someone in the TV area. Held up my receipt. And said, Bob told me to get one of you guys to help me take one of these TVs out to my truck. Needless to say, he didn't check my receipt and got 2 other guys to help me carry a $1,200 big screen TV right out the front door. While in high school, I wanted to buy some alcohol for my best friend's birthday. But not only was I a minor, I was broke. Like negative account balance broke. So what did I do? I walked into a big ass major chain grocery store. Studied the clerk's movements, like some kind of a stealth game. Then walked to the alcohol aisle. Grabbed 2 boxes of 24 can. And just walked out of the store to the parking lot where other friends were waiting in the car. Ready for extraction. The first heist gave me a huge adrenaline rush. But the next one was easier. And the next 10 trips even more so. and they were always to the same store. I still can't believe I didn't get caught. I got caught like my second time and got banned. Can't believe they didn't call the police, but the guy was pretty understanding of how stupid teenagers can be, so he just gave me a strewn warning and told me to gtfo. Edit. Autocorrect is a bitch. I'm leaving it. Somehow I made it through education half-assed, and I mean half-assed. And landed a pretty sweet job. Compared to some friends who took education seriously but couldn't make it in the end. This is crazy. You have not reached your final form. Go full ass and be super amazing. I once accidentally stole a pen. And only realized when I was in another continent. I seriously had a nightmare about it a couple of days ago. I think it was one of those dreams where I was in Little Me's shoes. And everything was really scary. Including stealing a pen. Signed up for 18 plus Neopets account when I was 13 without faxing my parents' permission. I thought I was such a badass. I passed a subject at uni without handing in any of the 3 assignments needed. No tests for this one. Only written assignments. Or just pass though. I got a credit. To this day I don't know how I did it. I murdered a co-worker at the zoo. He was a friend. And I feel bad. No one believes me. And it cost me my job. But it was an accident. I forgot to close the inner gate the night before. The inner gate is to keep the animals from escaping or attacking you when you first enter. You enter through one gate. Close it. Then open the inner gate and enter the cage proper. He went in to feed them and opened the outer door, then screamed as they rushed him. They're smart animals. And I guess they were just waiting for that other gate to open. I looked up the moment I heard him scream and laughed my ass off as a murder of 35 crows escaped through the gate he'd just opened. I murdered my friend by accident. When I was in college, I worked retail at a very well-known retail store. A friend of mine pointed out to me that a co-worker stole by dropping items in a gap between the loading dock and where trucks connected. I would drop DVDs, CDs, and 360 games and pick them up after my shift. I easily stole at least over $1,000 worth of merchandise. Edit. The pay was absolute crap too, so I have no regrets. Edit 2. Holy crap, this blew up when I was sleeping. For the record, this is the only time in my life I ever stole, and it's the worst thing I ever did in my life. If that's the worst thing I ever did, I think I can live with myself. I had an excuse to do it, but of course it wasn't justifiable. At the time I thought I was a broke college student barely SCRPing by. Edit 3. Jesus. So my top rated comment on Reddit is, when for the first time ever I admit the worst thing I've ever done. Okie dokie then. You can always rationalize theft. One summer I almost made my father lose his mind. He's always been obsessed with the health of the grass in the yard and how perfect and green it is. If there's a shred of discoloration or crabgrass, he's all over it immediately. So one night when I had been drinking with my friends, I went out and peed in the lawn. For no particular reason and not out of spite. I just has to go. A few days later, big yellow patch of dead grass appeared where I had peed. My dad flipped out, completely puzzled as to where it came from. He put an entire bag of sod on it with the assumption the grass would grow back. Thinking his obsession with it was funny, I snuck out at night and peed all over it again. This cycle of my dad flipping out and me watching his hysterics, trying not to laugh, and continuing to pee on the spot, went on for an entire summer. The grass never grew back that year and his entire summer was spoiled. He still brings it up to this day. Puzzled about it could have been deleted. Absolutely nothing. For everything I have ever done wrong, I was punished fully and immediately. I am currently serving 8 life sentences simultaneously at 6 different prisons. I've also been executed twice. True story. Came home stoned and smelling like booze when I was 14. Didn't get caught because I said a homeless man threw vodka at me. Smuggled 2,000 ecstasy tablets in my backpack, trough 3 borders. You would never have gotten away with this at Barnes & Noble. Lying during my entire high school career about basically everything in my life. No one found out a thing. Edit. For people saying oh they knew. I asked them after school was over. They all said they believed me. Hey. You didn't go to high school. Attempted murder. Stop messing with those birds. Dumbus. Went on Disney.com without my parents' permission. That's F-King metal. Since no one else is commenting, I got out of doing a whole physics assignment. It was worth quite a bit of a grade. 2. No one mentioned a word about it. Yeah, my life is pretty boring. I convinced my GCSE physics teacher she had lost my coursework 3 times and made her do it for me. I submitted it 0 times. I got an A. I think physics teachers are just too chill to care.